because these little guys came from such a bad situation, I wanted to try to find something that would be naturally healthy for them, just like for all our other animals. So, and sorry, you're gonna hear the dog barking in the background because she is jealous that she's not out here with goats. But anyway, I found this product for the goats. It's called GI Soother. And so it has some good stuff in it. It has cinnamon bark, ginger, turmeric, slippery elm bark, clove, mullein leaf, and cayenne pepper fruit. And so that's what I've been giving to these little guys to help them transition to their new home. And they all came very sick. So we are trying to get them back healthy. Come here, little one. Let's show you the little babies. There's a little baby. This is Patches. Say hi, Patches. Mila, it's okay. The dogs can't be out with the baby goats because the baby goats will be mean to the dogs. This one specifically will headbutt. Excuse me, no, you can't have the cup. Okay, so now that people have had a chance to sign on, today I just wanted to real quick talk about being prepared to go to the vet, because I have to take 2 cats to the vet today, and Jasmine the donkey is going to the vet with my mom as well. And so I actually dread going to the vet. I love the integrated veterinarian that I see now. I'm gonna have to drive an hour each way to get to her. But she's very good. She listens to me. We have good conversations. But I still don't like going. I still dread it. So what we have in the description is a link to, it's called the Curbside download, but it's helpful even if you're going to be in person with your veterinarian. I take it with me every single time I take an animal to the vet, even if it's something routine. It basically outlines your information, your pet's information. It asks a bunch of questions that you can write answers to before you even show up, so that way you're prepared. This document, and it's linked in the description of this video, I'm not exaggerating, this document is what helped me catch Mila's mast cell tumor significantly earlier than I would have either way. Sorry, the goat's jumping on the table. But because I wrote on there, I said, please double check the lump on her tail. And Mila, stop. And because I wrote that down, I completely forgot about it. And the veterinarian, she read it and she was like, oh, I saw your note about the lump on her tail. I checked it. I'm really concerned about it. I think we should aspirate it. And we did, and it turned out to be a mast cell tumor. And it was such a small lump that I totally forgot about. I had just written it on the Curbside form, probably like a week before I even went. And because I jotted down that she had a lump on her tail, the veterinarian found a cancerous tumor. And, I had 2 dogs there, and with Curbside, I was stressed out, and I totally forgot that I wanted to ask about the lump because they were there for other reasons. So I strongly recommend, especially if you're like me and you get anxious going to the vet, you're afraid they're gonna recommend something that you're not sure of, definitely download. It's completely free. I literally take it with me every single time, because as soon as I show up to the vets, it's like all the information just escapes out of my head. Oh, there's a goat. So I'm going to take it with me today for my cats. I'm taking my cats today. I'm actually taking my dad's cat to recheck for her urinalysis to make sure that the Clavamox treated her UTI. And then I'm going to also take my older cat, Reggie, who he's definitely been losing a little bit of weight lately, I've noticed. And he was just at the vet maybe 3 months ago to get his dental and full blood work, and everything was great, and he went through his dental fine. However, Mila, it's okay. However, I have noticed that he's losing weight, and he's still eating at probably more than he was. So I'm getting a little bit concerned about him, and I want to definitely check his thyroid values, make sure he's not hyperthyroid. We'll check his kidney values and do probably a whole bunch of lab work, and then I'll see what she recommends after she does her exam. So I'm going to spend this morning filling out the Curbside download form. I'm not sure, my vet moved to a new hospital, so this will be my first time there. I'm not sure if it's going to be curbside or if I'll be able to go inside. But like I said, I'm going to fill out the form either way, because for some reason I get in front of the vet and they'll ask me like, oh, can you list your concerns? And I'll be like, what were my concerns? I just completely draw a blank sometimes. So I really, really recommend going prepared, especially if you're concerned about not remembering all the details of what you wanted to talk about. The other thing that's really important that I always say when I arrive, and it is also on the form highlighted in yellow, is that I do not give them permission to administer anything orally, injectable, nothing to my pet until I have been notified and I agree to it. Shockingly, we have had quite a few people that have said, I sent my dog or cat into the vet's and they just came back out to my car with my pet and a list of all these vaccines that they gave my pet without my consent. That definitely does happen, unfortunately. So like I said, on the form, it says it in big bold letters, do not administer anything to my pet before I agree to it. I also, the minute I show up, I say, please do your exam. Anything beyond the exam, I need to be notified and I need to agree to it first. This is exactly what it's like having goats. Oh, what are you doing? They're into everything. Oh my gosh. They're so mischievous. So, yeah, that's just my little spiel for today. We've got a busy day where we're all going to veterinarians, and I just wanted to take a quick second to introduce you to these little monsters. You're not supposed to be on the table. You're not supposed to be. Okay. I'm telling you, this is my first time owning goats, and they are like, it's like a circus with them. They're constantly getting into everything. So yeah, if you have any specific questions, I'll stay on for the next minute or two as far as taking your pet to the vet. But yeah, I talk to people every day about this. Even I get nervous and anxious, taking my pets to the veterinarian, and I feel like I have a lot of tools in my toolbox. And I can't even imagine for people that just are not as aware how scary it can be sometimes to want to trust your vet, but then you have this gut feeling like, oh, I don't know, do I really want to, agree to this, or this doesn't feel quite right, and you don't know what to do. So something that definitely helps is going in prepared and knowing what you would like to get out of your vet visit, as well as what you don't want at your vet visit. And I always tell them, even though I go to an integrative veterinarian, I will always reaffirm, you cannot give them any flea and tick medication either, because we've heard that too, where you take your dog in, the vet finds one flea and gives your pet a dose of Bravecto or something, or Capstar or whatever. We hear stories like that all the time. So I always say, I'm sorry, I know I'm a little neurotic, but please don't give them anything until we talk. And my vet has been very respectful of that. She takes the time to have a conversation with me and talk through things and make sure I feel comfortable. So it's definitely possible. It doesn't have to be a battle, but going in with that PDF filled out, like I said, it helped me remember a lump that I probably would have forgotten about, accidentally, of course. And, it just helps you stay focused and feel more prepared and empowered. I like your hat and shirt. Yeah, I am repping. I'm double branded today. Brandon got us, the hats aren't, the t-shirts are available on the website, but the hats Brandon got just because he He really liked how they looked. And for some of you that don't have a holistic or integrative vet in your area, that definitely, that's so tough. Like I said, for me, there are so many vets in our area, and the human side of things, there's access to so many amazing practitioners for humans here. And we're in Raleigh, North Carolina. So there are a ton of acupuncturists, chiropractors, nutritionists. There's all sorts of things for people. For pets, I have had the hardest time finding an integrative veterinarian. And the 2 or 3, I haven't found any holistic, but the 2 or 3 that are integrative, 2 out of the 3 are not even booking new clients. If you're not an existing client, you cannot get an appointment. This veterinarian that I see and I really like, her name is Dr. Eve Boggs. And right now she's out of the Animal Hospital of Carborough, I believe it's called, or Carborough Animal Hospital. She's fantastic, but she is integrative. She's not fully holistic. But like I said, I trust her, and I feel like we can have conversations. So, I really like going to her. But for those of you that don't have an integrative vet or a holistic vet, coming prepared and having your own information definitely makes all the difference in the world. So for example, I just talked to someone yesterday. Their dog had some struvite crystals in their urine. They did an ultrasound, they did a culture. Literally everything else came back fine except for the pH of the urine was a little high, and there were some struvite crystals. And the veterinarian, of course, immediately said, you need to go on a prescription diet. And so this person, she keeps up with us, and she's very well educated now, and she advocated for her pet and said, I don't want a prescription diet. You know, I know there's a lot of other things I can do for my animal, you know, and she said, no, thank you, and went on her merry way, and is working with us to do some other things. But just having that information, something as simple as like, okay, I understand that this isn't like an emergent situation where I need to make a decision right this second. Let me go educate myself, ask some questions, and dig deeper, because I don't want to give my pet a prescription diet. So stuff like that can make a really big difference when you're standing in the vet's office and you have a professional sitting there telling you, you must do X, Y, Z, and you don't feel comfortable. How do you get your vet to listen? So this is always the question, right? For me, I definitely have found most of the time you get more flies with honey than vinegar. So, you know, we have to remember that these veterinarians are in a tough spot too. You know, they're being told, the traditional veterinarians, they're being taught and told to do things this specific way. And of course, they are accountable for the way that they practice medicine. And sometimes they do screw up. But I think in general, our veterinarians are in a tough spot, right? They're getting pushed on from both sides. And so I always try, if you can find an integrative or holistic vet, fantastic. If you can't, I always try to have a conversation, and I always start it with like, listen, I know I'm a pain in the butt, okay? I love my animals. I'm worried about them. I want us to work together to find a solution that makes us both feel comfortable. And I have found that, you know, just kind of breaking the ice with like, I know I'm being a bit neurotic. I'm just worried. I love my animal. You know, let's have a conversation about it and ask questions. And most of the time I've gotten a pretty decent response that way. There's only been like 1 or 2 times where I got a little heated with people, and it was in an emergency situation where I had a very, very sick animal, and I felt like I wasn't getting help at all. So, you know, that definitely happens, but I always recommend trying to just have a conversation. It doesn't have to be a fight. And a lot of times, you know, these veterinarians, they have a tough job too. And so if you come in combative, a lot of times the veterinarians are just like, I can't deal with this, you know, I'm just trying to do my job, you know. So the PDF is in the link in the description of this video. I might be able to comment it. Sorry, I'm using my phone. I haven't done this in a while, so. I keep going to the vet for the same problem, a repeat UTI. I feel like we're not getting to the underlying problem. So Heidi, for repetitive UTIs, is definitely not normal. I would want to do more diagnostics. I don't know what you did, but definitely a urine culture. If it truly is a urinary tract infection, you're going to see bacteria. The sensitivity part of the culture and sensitivity will tell you what antibiotics to use. And you also want to look at the diet to see, you can also do some diet manipulation. There's a article on the website. It's about crystals in the urine, but it also has many, many good tips in there about just general urinary issues. I found that the country vets are the easiest to work with. That's interesting. I love Dr. Eve. Oh, I do love Dr. Eve. She's super sweet. She's now at the Animal Hospital of Carborough, so I'm going to see her today. Our holistic vet is booked out until November. Yeah, so Dr. Eve was booked out, I think, like, at her old office. She was booked out, like, 2 months in advance. And so I had to get on a waiting list to get my pets seen because I really wanted to go see her. Now that she switched, I was able to get an appointment pretty quick. But yeah, a lot of these vets either aren't taking new clients or are booked out months in advance. So it really sucks. Let's see what else. My vet is not holistic, but he is great with working with me about holistic. Yeah, that's fantastic. And that is definitely possible. Some of these traditional veterinarians, like for the goats, she's a traditional veterinarian, but I was just talking to her about our views and saying, I wanted to try some of these more holistic things for the goats. And she said that, she's a traditional veterinarian, but she definitely does support my views and is definitely willing to give those things, the more natural things, a try. As long as there's nothing in there that made her feel uncomfortable. But even though she's a traditional vet, she was still supportive of us doing some of the natural stuff. So that's definitely possible. Do we have products for crystals in the urine? My vet did recommend a prescription diet and cranberry capsules. Yeah, so it depends what type of crystals. I'm assuming you're talking about struvite crystals since you are on cranberry. But yeah, there is, I don't know if someone can post it for me, but there is on our website, drjudymorgan.com, there is a article titled Crystals in the Urine. Awesome blog. It has tons of great information. And if you have any other questions after that, just let us know. Let's see. One of the biggest things I've learned is to make sure that the vet is to treat the animal in front of me. For sure. If you're allowed to go inside, I don't know if I'll be able to go inside or not. Asking, most of the time they'll do the exam and stuff with you in the room. But if you say, I'd like to be in the room for as many things as possible, I will say from the veterinary side, sometimes your animals actually are less stressed and less aggressive in some cases without the owner if they go into the back for like a blood draw or some type of procedure. So I will say, sometimes when they take my animals to the back, as long as I, obviously trust the veterinarian, I don't have an issue with it because my animals aren't aggressive or anything, but I have experienced that sometimes the animals are a little bit less stressed when they don't have the owner there because you're feeling stressed and anxious. They feel that from you, and versus the veterinary staff, that's what they do all day, every day. They're usually pretty even keel about it. I have a traditional vet and she respects my views. That's amazing. Yeah, it's definitely possible. How do you skip giving the rabies vaccine? It depends where you live. There are, in some states, exemptions are available. So check and see if your dog qualifies for that. Because sometimes you can get an exemption. Oh, thank you. Glenda did post the Crystals in the Urine blogs. Thank you so much. Also, titers. That's another thing. If you go to a traditional vet and you ask for a vaccination titer instead of a vaccine, and again, like with rabies, it depends on what state you live in. But Dr. Rob of Protect the Pets, you can actually get titers through him. So even if you're a traditional veterinarian, gives you a hard time about titers, there's workarounds. You can you can do it through Dr. Rob. Traditional, but works with me. Yeah, that's amazing. I think honestly a lot of it is just about the relationship with your vet and just trying to be able to have an open discussion. So Beth asks, if I'm getting my dog's liver enzymes checked, should I give her the liver support tonic? That's a good question. I mean, if you've been giving the liver support tonic, probably like the last day that you give it, it shouldn't really make that much of a difference. But yeah, I'm going to follow up on that. I'm actually going to reach out to Adored Beast as well and see what their recommendation is. Because I know, like, for that animal biome test, for at least 24 hours, you're not supposed to give any type of probiotic. So that's a really good question about the liver enzymes. I'll ask about that. Schedules are crazy. They really are. Still looking for an integrative vet. Yeah, I feel you. It's, gosh. If anyone has any more recommendations, if Dr. Eve stops working, I have no backup plan. Dr. Rob of Protect the Pets. It's ROBB, and Protect the Pets. Someone can post that as well. I'm trying to think, there might be another option, but like, so if your vet ever either gives you a hard time or, one of the tests is very expensive. So like a great example is vitamin D testing. I wanted vitamin D testing. I was quoted $330 for one test. And I was like, no. So we sell over the counter actually is a vitamin D test kit for $55. And you send it into, to VDI Labs. So, and also Hemopet Labs by Dr. Jean Dodds. I know she does the thyroid panel. She might offer some other things. But thankfully there are quite a few more options. Okay. Yeah, I think I went through all the questions. So anyway, let me see if here's a baby goat. I just wanted to hop on and introduce you. This is Patches. They're not 100% friendly yet, but they're working on it. Also, fun fact, did you know that goats have no top teeth? I had no idea. They only have bottom teeth. And these two are twins. So that's Patches, and that's Martini, and that's my kid's cup that the goats have stolen off the chair. Those are the twins, and then Fireball, who is out in the yard, he is a little bit older. They're so cute. Our regular vet couldn't come close to the Protect the Pets price, so we had the blood drawn, and she didn't even charge us. Yeah, Glenda, that's a good point. So if you look at some of these other testing options, a lot of the times they are a lot cheaper than what you can get through your veterinarian, but that's something that you have to know ahead of time for sure, because you have to either take the test kit with you or you have to know exactly what you need from your veterinarian. So definitely go prepared if you know you want titers or a vitamin D test, and make sure that you're prepared ahead of time. So these little guys, they're looking a lot better, even though they're still looking a little rough around the edges. And I also, just more goat supplies. So we've been using the Kin and Kind. This is on the website too. But I use this on our dogs, cats, ourselves. And I sprayed the goats with it. And also, we don't sell this, but if you have livestock, you can also use it in your house. Like if you have a flea problem in your house, you can put it on your carpets. It's by Buck Mountain. It's a parasite dust, and it's all natural. It's got neem, yarrow, and what's the other thing? Diatom flower. But this, if you have livestock, we've had quite a few rescue animals with lice. This works super well with lice. But you can also use it for fleas and ticks, and it's really good for your like carpets and stuff. And the little bald spots on their backs is where their numbers were glued onto them, and they were glued literally almost to the skin, so we had to shave their hair off. Poor little guys. There's Fireball. Okay, Patches, I gotta go to work now, buddy. I can't play with baby goats all day. Yes, I did not know that goats didn't have top teeth. I would show you, but I don't think any of them are gonna cooperate enough for that. But yeah, when they're a little